Hi. Welcome one and all to another Record Roulette, the video version of Record Roulette, because in case you didn't know, there's a audio version of Record Roulette that I do over on AMP. If you're interested, look at the link tree thing in my description or wherever you may be. My link tree is everywhere. And go listen to me if you live in America and you have an iOS device. For now. But this is the OG version, the visual version, where I use the random item feature in my Discogs collection, and whatever it selects, I pull it out, I talk about it, we have an amazing time. And as usual, I am recording the screen on my laptop where I have my Discogs collection pulled up, and you will see the action as it unfolds. Let's start unfolding. Here we go, everybody. You know what to do. Random item. The PM Dawn Set Adrift on Memory Bliss 12-inch single. I absolutely love this song. I love PM Dawn. They were fucking great. Their first two albums especially. Their first one, which has this song on it, is my favorite. And this is a special one too because the actual version of Set Adrift on Memory Bliss, you can't find it on streaming services. I think maybe it's because of that Spandau Ballet sample. Those motherfuckers are just money hungry, aren't they? But to me, it's a classic song from the 90s hip-hop era, and you know I love 12-inch maxi singles, and this one has two different versions of Set Adrift and two versions of A Watcher's Point of View, both of which are on the album Of the Heart, of the Soul, of the Cross, the Utopian Experience. Nailed it. But yeah, you got Set Adrift Extended Mix, Set Adrift Radio Mix, Watcher's Point of View Youth Extended Mix, and Watcher's Point of View Youth Radio Mix. I don't know what the youth means there. It says remixed by Mark Stent, so I'm assuming he's a producer who went by the name Youth. But yeah, this is from 1991, and let's take a look at the record. Look at this. Look at that old ass inner sleeve. And so that's how you know what kind of collector I am. Like, this to me is awesome. And people out there will be like, let me talk to you about how I handle my vinyl records. I use these polyvinyl sleeves and you don't need to jerk yourself off in front of everybody, okay? Here we go. Pretty basic there, just basic label, you know, nothing special. The special is what's on the vinyl. Okay, I think I've babbled about this one enough. PM Dawn, Set Adrift on Memory Bliss 12-inch maxi single. All right, vinyl selection number 2. Let's do it. Random item. Apocrypha, The Eyes of Time. This is the second album from the band Apocrypha, and there's the dudes on the back. This gentleman right here, Tony Freginelli, he was like a young guitar virtuoso. I think he's still alive, but this was like the band, I guess, that was like showcasing him, and it's a little thrashy, I guess more speed metal, a little proggy, a lot of wheelies and stuff, cool riffs. Really a pretty cool 80s metal band. And I think they only did 3 albums. Another really basic inner sleeve here. There you go, on Shrapnel Records. Shrapnel was a label that was big on, like, let's put out albums with guitar virtuosos on them. Anything in there? Nope. Pretty bare bones release. But Mr. Freginelli, or however you pronounce it, great guitar player, but interestingly enough, in the 90s, he would go on to join a band called Third Eye Blind. I mean, he absolutely looks nothing like that in Third Eye Blind. And clearly his skills would have been highly underused in that band. But I don't know what he did after that. Anybody knows? Tony, are you watching? Anyway, The Eyes of Time. Very cool 80s metal album from Apocrypha. Check it out if you haven't. All right, let's keep this shit rolling, ladies and gentlemen. Random item. Our second album in a row from 1988, but this one from across the pond in the UK. The Stupids. Jesus Meets the Stupids. And the title is very appropriate. This is a crossover, thrashy, hardcore band from the UK, from the 80s. They started in the early 80s. I think this may have been the last album they put out. And it is just funny and fun and energetic, an absolute blast. There's no inner sleeve on this one either, but look at that. Pretty basic little label there. It's on Vinyl Solution, I believe. This one also does not have an insert. But there you go. There's the back cover with the dudes. And I love the cover of the album. How the band members are like the three wise men. He's bringing them a Stupid's hat. He's bringing them some animal crackers. He's bringing them some root beer. All things that a new baby Jesus needs. But yeah, this album is an absolute blast. In fact, everything that I've heard by the Stupids. I think I have one other thing on vinyl from them. But always super fun. I don't know what they did after this. Honestly, I don't know if they went on to other bands. I really should do some more research on the Stupids. If anybody knows, put it in the comments below. But yeah, Jesus meets the Stupids. I'm really enjoying what Discogs has been choosing this time, so let's see what happens. 2 more to go. Random item. Okay, this is another 12-inch single, but this is something a little bit different. So this is the song Darkness from Aerosmith, which is a song that on all other versions of their album Done with Mirrors, Darkness I think is the last song on that album, but the vinyl version, Darkness is not on there. And I think this is a case of I was getting something else on Discogs. Whenever I find something on Discogs I want, I'll go to the seller's page, spend a few minutes kind of like looking through. Is there anything interesting that they have that I might want to pick up? It's not too expensive. And I think this was like a couple dollars and I just threw it on. And it is not, obviously, promotional copy, not for sale. And if you look at the back, there's literally fucking nothing on the back. So I'm guessing this was for radio stations to play this particular song. And that's literally all that's on it. Side A, Darkness. Side B, Darkness. And this was one of those cases where whoever had it previously put this fucking barcode sticker on it. And it's one of those stickers that if you try to peel it off, it's just going to rip the fucking cover. Fuck those people. But either way, it's a cool little thing to have. I'm an Aerosmith fan. I like collecting these older things like this, especially when I run across things like this where I'm like, what is this for? And I'm going to get it. I always thought it was funny, the promotional copy stuff, because by the late 90s, you would just go to used records and CD stores, and there was just shitloads of stuff that had big stickers on them that said, not for sale. And what were you doing? You were buying it. By the looks of it, this one has been bought a couple times, but its final home is with Old Head. You like that little ditty that plays in between every segment? Thank you. It's done by me. And if you like it, wait till the end, and there's an extended remix. But you're going to have to wait for that because we have one more record to do. Let's do it. Random item. Trashed, the second album from the 90s skate punk band, one of the best skate punk bands ever, Lagwagon. This is from 1994, and this is my favorite Lagwagon album. I think I talked about their first one on another episode of Record Roulette, but this one is my favorite. So many cool things on the album cover, a copy of Highway to Hell, some condoms, some peanut butter. This, of course, was on Fat Records in 1994, and this is a 1994 pressing. This one has an insert. There's the dudes jumping up in front of the Lagwagon, I'm assuming when it broke down on tour. The other side has lyrics like they're on ripped up pieces of notebook paper. It's a nice touch. And here is the record. Once again, not super interesting, but, this is how they look. Honestly, I think if you needed an example of the type of punk that I really love, I think Trashed is probably the best place to start. It does have that fun sort of punk rock vibe to it, but I've said it before, I think. Some of these skate punk bands almost had a little bit of a crossover with some thrashiness. I mean, there's some riffs on here. There are songs on this particular album that punk bands would never be able to play. But alas, for the most part, this kind of punk no longer exists. There's a handful of bands that still do it today, but if any style of punk was going to make a giant comeback where all of a sudden you have like hundreds of bands doing sound-alike shit, please make it shit like this. All right, that's it. Another episode of Record Roulette has come and must go. But hey, if you're wanting a weekly fix of something like this, Tuesday nights, 7 o'clock Central, that's when I'm doing my radio show over on AMP. You can find the links in the description to the video. And I do an hour-long show where I literally put together a playlist from doing what we did right here. And people seem to like it. And I'm sure you would too, because you're still here. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Record Roulette. And I will see you all again very soon.